So when people are creating website chatbots, one of the important requirements that they need is an ability to skin the look and feel. That is, they want to have a way to customize the appearance of the chat widget, and Dialogflow Messenger provides a couple of options to do that. It provides some HTML based customizations and also some CSS based customizations. So let's first look at the HTML customizations. And what you notice is that in the HTML snippet that you add to the code, like when you go back to the WebStorm, you see that you can see this tag, the DF Messenger tag, and you see that it has these 4 attributes. Now, if you look at the documentation, it makes it clear that the agent ID, the chat title, and the language code are all required parameters. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go back to the snippet, and I'm going to remove everything except the agent ID, just to show you what happens when you do that, like how well does Dialogflow handle these situations. So let's go ahead and remove these, and I'm going to save this. So when you open this, that is when you go to that page, the first thing you notice is that there is no welcome message because we removed the attribute which is sort of indicating the intent which should fire, so we don't have that. And if I open the page, you notice that it has replaced the chat title with a default chat text. It just has some default verbiage called chat. And also the important thing is that if I were to try to interact with the bot, you notice that it says something went wrong, please try again. And this is because it doesn't have all the required parameters that it needs. So let's go back here, and of course the agent ID is already there. So what we are going to do now is we are just going to put the language code back into this bot, save it, and let's try and open it and see what happens now. So I'm going to open this here, and I'm going to say hi. Now you can see that it did come back with the default welcome message. Now it did not show the prompt, which is what it showed before we even started interacting, but the bot itself seems to work. So as you can see, it does provide this chat as the default text, but otherwise it's working quite okay. So if you go back and look at the code, you see that the only 2 absolutely mandatory parameters are the agent ID and the language code. So now let's go back to the documentation. You can see that the chat title, it says it's required, but I think that it just keeps it automatically generates it in case it's not able to find it in the HTML attribute. Now if you were to provide your own chat title, so here if I were to say chat title equals my bot and save it and open it, you can see that my bot comes as the chat title over here. So my point is that the chat title which you have as the attribute overrides the name of the bot that you have in your Dialogflow console. So this is what will actually show on the page if you have added it as an attribute. So that's what we have when it comes to the required parameters in this HTML tag that we have for showing the chat widget.